Okay, so what we have next is, I don't know, about 3 videos or so of Ryan Foley. Now, y'all probably remember Ryan Foley from this channel where I reviewed him on 2 different TikTok videos. Again, one of the rare times in which I've ever seen TikTok. Somebody alerted me to these videos of him storming a Catholic ambo, aka Pulpit, and began to preach heresy in a Catholic church. And I pointed out that, yeah, it's easy for him to do that when the room was just filled with basically older ladies. But I guarantee he wouldn't have done that if there were young men there. Guarantee he wouldn't have. And even the older men tossed him out. I found that interesting. But I don't know. I don't want to know what the younger men would have done to him. But so we're going to watch a few videos of Ryan Foley. Evidently, his thing is to just go brazenly into whatever place he wants, start filming and start preaching. Here he goes into a witchery store where they sell witchcraft paraphernalia. And he wants to show how it exposes the Catholic Church because it has a statue of the Virgin Mary in there. And so clearly that just shows that Catholicism is really witchcraft at the end of the day. Clearly he doesn't know anything about voodoo and the problems with voodoo, where it incorporates some of those things with Catholicism, which is absurd, but that's clearly what they do. And isn't that how Satan usually works? He takes good things and then corrupts them and uses them for evil. Oh, well. Okay, so here he's going to go into a witchcraft store and he's going to start preaching in there and he's going to try to expose the Catholic Church. And he does this with all kinds of places. He did it with Joel Osteen's place. It looks like they gave him, a citation for trespassing or something like that. This guy... there's another video where he goes into a school and just starts preaching. This guy is begging for the wrong person to beat him down. I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's right, but there are people out there that will catch this guy and give him a beating. It's sad, but it's certainly going to happen. Not to mention the fact that he's clearly going to eventually be arrested for this kind of stuff. All right, let's continue.
We are in a witchcraft hut right now where they sell witchcraft, and I want you to see something very carefully. They have Mary here. Now, why would they have Mary inside of a witchcraft place where they sell?
They also had Jesus in there. Did you notice that, Ryan? I guess Jesus is also part of paganism.
Witchcraft and voodoo. It is because Mary is a false god. It is idolatry.
And they had Jesus in there. I guess Jesus is a false god in idolatry.
This is the same place. We will be leaving, but the souls matter.
The lady says, "You're trespassing." He says, "We will be leaving, but souls matter."
Souls matter. It's in the same place where they sell tarot cards, all types of witchcraft, voodoo, and all of this stuff. And yet at the same time, they have pictures of Mary. Don't you understand what Catholicism?
And they had a Jesus statue in there. You can't make this stuff up. Look at this. Look at that. Who do you think that is? Who do you think this guy is, Ryan? You think that's Muhammad? That's Jesus. So I guess Jesus is a false god and is part of witchcraft too by this reasoning. He didn't really think this one through very clearly.
All types of witchcraft, voodoo, and all of this stuff. And yet at the same time, they have pictures of Mary. Don't you understand what Catholicism really is? Wake up. Get out of Catholicism. It's idolatry.
This is way over the top.
After we got done speaking in the witchery, the owner of that witch hut place, he said that he owned the Catholic Church just right down the street. This ginormous Catholic Church was owned by a man who owns a store that sells witchcraft stuff.
Okay, we know that's not true since Catholic churches aren't privately owned. The bishop is the one who has that property. unless it's a monastery or something like that. So yeah, no, not buying this one. This is the same guy who told us in the other video, when he got kicked out of the Catholic Church, he then tells us again, well, after the video, there were Catholics there who told me that they don't believe the Bible and the Bible is full of errors. And I said, yeah, I don't think they really said that. And here we go with the kind of the same formula of, oh, well, after the cameras were turned off, they told me this. And yeah, sorry, I'm not buying it. It's not adding up. Hey, pro-lifers, I want to remind you about realestateforlife.org. If you want to support the pro-life movement at no cost to you in the process of buying a home or selling a home, office, or any kind of property anywhere in the world, check out realestateforlife.org for more information. God bless. Let's watch another one here. Okay, this one I found interesting because he again tries to go and confront Catholics. And I love this guy in the red shirt here. Love this guy because he confronted Ryan Foley about his hubris in going into a Catholic church and doing so whenever there weren't any really young men there to toss him out. And he says, yeah, why don't you come this Sunday and watch how quickly you get tossed out? I appreciated this guy. So I wanted to show this to you kind of as a follow-up to the previous video, just to, again, let you know that, yeah, it's probably not a good idea to rush a Catholic pulpit and start preaching your Protestant heresies. Not a good idea.
When you do the rosary, the heresy, all this is not biblical.
Really?
Absolutely.
Every single prayer of the rosary can be found in sacred scripture.
I think it's real cowardly that you did that during a weekday.
Absolutely. I'm here now.
Come do it here. Come do it on a Sunday and see how fast you get thrown out.
Is this a tough guy spiel?
No, this is a fact.
Becoming a tough guy.
We don't want you actually.
So he's saying, come and do that this Sunday and watch how you get kicked out. And rightly so. He should be tossed out for that. But he said, oh, is this a tough guy act? Ryan, what do you think you're trying to do by rushing a Catholic pulpit? You're clearly trying to play this tough guy act. So whenever it gets turned back on you, okay, whatever.
Breaking into the church on
Your
Sundays.
hands, you broke into a church.
As though broke in, I walked directly in.
Yeah.
Let's stick with one question at one time. Where was the breaking? And where was the breaking into?
Okay, I'll rephrase. You did not break in terms of like physically.
I walked in because they're preaching heresy in there
and
and leading.
Okay, so if Ryan ever gets a church, if he ever gets one, which I don't think that's ever going to happen, but if he does, it's fair game for people to rush his pulpit while he's there and just start preaching whatever they want to do and condemning Ryan Foley right there from his pulpit. In fact, since he doesn't have an actual church to preach from, I guess we can rush into his house and just start condemning him in his house, because he basically, I guess, has a house church. So I guess that's fair game too. I mean, you would say, oh no, that's private property. Oh wait, the Catholic Church is also private property. So yeah, I guess it's fair game to run into his house and start just trashing the guy and saying he's a heretic and saying he's teaching all kinds of heresy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't go for that. Right? I'm pretty sure he wouldn't accept that.
I didn't finish talking.
What would Jesus do if a church was preaching heresy? And here we have an entire doctrine built on heresy.
All right, so let's move on to the next one. I like that the guy in red here, let him know what time it is. Okay. Telling you, not a good idea. Not a good idea. Don't do this. Don't try this at home, because I'm not condoning what would be done, but I am saying I know people. People will do all kinds of wild things, whether right or wrong. They'll do wild things. And you put yourself in that situation, you now put yourself in dealing with the consequences. What I'm saying is just avoid the consequences by not putting yourself in that situation and running into Catholic churches and start preaching heresy. All right, so here I guess he's at one of those gyms. I don't think this is Anytime Fitness. This is, I guess, Planet Fitness. Everything's in purple. Nothing is off limits to this guy. He has zero boundaries. Schools, Planet Fitness, witchcraft stores, Catholic churches, Joel Osteen. He's begging for it.
There's women in spandex. They might as well be naked. And us as men of God, we don't look around at these women and lust after them.
I was 18 years old. I had a fake Snapchat that I would Snapchat younger girls on because I got off to flirting and talking sexually with younger girls. I used to go on an app called Grindr to find transgenders to have sex with, watching these things on pornography as well.
Well, God bless him for repenting of that. I mean, I don't know how this really helps the credibility of his preaching and his ministry by talking about how when he was 18 years old, he would prey on people who were underage and how he would engage in sexual acts with transgender individuals. I don't know how this helps him, but hey, God bless him that he turned away from that. Or did he? Ooh, well, you'll see in a moment.
Well, I'll admit, I even started going through my DMs looking for hot girls that were just messaging me, like saying you're attractive. And I messaged them back like, hi.
Violent.
Yeah, you heard that right. Yeah. So I guess I have to eat my words.
Take the kingdom of heaven by force. Matthew 11, verse 12. If you want something, go ahead and get it. Go ahead and get it. If you want a wife, get a wife. I have chosen to sin twice recently, and I started to fall back to old ways in fornication, masturbation, pornography, reaching out to transgenders and sexual relation, reaching out to women. In the past week, I have begun to fall back into my old lifestyle. This is true.
Yikes. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully he repents of this. By the way, this is another reason why we need the sacraments, because it helps strengthen a person so that they do the right thing. It helps build virtue. Whenever you don't have the sacraments, like Ryan Foley, yeah, it's going to be a constant battle and struggle with sin. I'm not saying even in the Catholic life there isn't a constant battle and struggle with sin, but you have those graces that help a person to live supernaturally, to live virtuously in a way that's heroic in nature. But unfortunately, he's missing that from the Catholic Church, and I wish he would repent of this nonsense, come to the Catholic Church, and get the healing that he needs in confession in the Eucharist, because that would really help him with what he's struggling with. But I do want to say, all right, well, if you're struggling with that, even recently, I don't know if it's a good idea to be running into places and exposing other people for their sins. I'm just throwing that one out there.
High school.
Right. So here he's going to start preaching in a high school.
Everybody, I'm not coming in hard, but be quiet for about 20 seconds. I used to be team captain of the football team at this school. I was what you call popular. I used to bathe in the bathrooms, everyone looked up to me, and I slept with whoever I wanted to. That was 2 years ago, 2020. And then Jesus Christ killed me. I was born again. I was convicted of sin. What? 1 second. There is a lot of people in here right now that are in a cycle of sin. The devil is trying to take you down.
Wow. Okay. And somebody says better left in the confessional, but public confession, eesh. Well, I guess when you don't have the sacrament of confession, I guess those things are really, on his conscience, and he feels the need to put it out there publicly. But okay, all right. And if you're repenting of that, all right. But you might not be in a position to be engaging in ministry at that point, is all I'm saying.
Did you guys hear that? He's saying he struggles with lust. He views women as objects of temptation. He used to be a predator, used to reach out to minors, and then he's in a school after he just admitted to falling into his old patterns. He's in a school with minors. Friends, this is not okay, especially for people with platforms. This is not okay. People have been canceled for less. I don't understand why people are still following him. Women are not objects of temptation, but people who are worthy of love and belonging. Be careful who you listen to, guys.
Good point. I like that guy. I don't know who he is, but I like him. Wow. That was rough to sit through. Golly. Certainly people need to be praying for him, but I think that Brian probably needs to get off TikTok and stop doing ministry, get to the confessional, and start working on repentance. So Reason in Theology is growing as a channel. As a result, there's been a number of increases in production costs. So if you're benefiting from RNT, I ask that you consider supporting the channel. You can help out by contributing to the Help RNT Grow fundraiser on GoFundMe. You could also consider becoming a member on Patreon at patreon.com/Reason in Theology, or become a channel member right here on YouTube. With either of these options, Patreon or a YouTube member, you'll get extra access to patron-only content. You can also donate directly to RNT at PayPal if you prefer that option. And you can find links to all of these resources and ways to support RNT in the show description. God bless. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button. See you next time. God bless.